Welcome to the L.A.S.T Podcast. I'm your co-host, Tori. For many athletes, their purpose and identity is rooted in the sport they love. But what happens when the crowd disappears? Here on the L.A.S.T Podcast, we will address one of the toughest issues that athletes face: life after sports. I want to introduce the founder of L.A.S.T and my co-host, Gabe Grant.
Hey, Gabe here checking in, man. I'm excited, Tori. I've been working on this for a while. And this is a big moment. This is a big moment. I think we're going to address some stuff that I think a lot of athletes all over the country, all over the world, it's inevitable. Life has to happen after sports. And we're going to get into it. We're going to dive into some stuff. We're going to get into it. So let's do it.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I think this is a conversation that a lot of people will resonate with and be able to take something from.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Gabe, who is Gabe? A lot of people may know you as the vibe specialist. That's how I met you.
Right.
But who is Gabe outside of nightlife and the vibe specialist?
So I'm glad you asked that, Tori, because I really all the time want people to know who I am more than just an event planner, more than just a promoter. Gabe is a person from Chicago, a kid with dreams and aspirations. I wanted to be in the NBA. I wanted to play professional sports, which led me to what I do now, honestly. So, the things that I take place and the things that I do now stem from me being a kid from Chicago, somebody that grew up in Inglewood and grew up in seeing, people make it out, seeing people not make it out. And being where I am today is just, being an individual that's an entrepreneur, that's a former athlete, that's somebody that's really just trying to take care of his family and actually help people each and every day. Like, that's my goal. Every day is to try to impact change and do things for others every day.
So, Gabe, it seems as if you've kind of figured out life after sports.
Right.
So
I wouldn't say figured it out. It's still a challenge every day. And I think that's the journey. Honestly, if I was to go back and look at my journey in sports, I spent 10 to 15 years just training, working out every day. Like, every athlete knows this. Like, once you're an athlete, if you want to get to the highest level, that is a journey, right? That's not going to happen overnight. You got to work out, you got to train, you got to go travel, you have to fail, you have to win. So it's the same thing in life after sports. I think it might look like people see it when it's successful, but there is a long process. And I think a lot of athletes can resonate with that. And I'm living proof of it. It's something that's not going to happen overnight. And it takes time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely takes time. So why now?
So I wanted to start L.A.S.T, honestly, because I think it's something that needs to be addressed. Like you mentioned early on, this is one of the biggest problems athletes face. When you talk about life after sports, you have to talk about that process of understanding sports will end, right? And I think a lot of people that play sports never want to accept that, and when they do accept it, it's too late, right? So I think starting the conversation is important, starting the place so people can see different types of avenues you can take and understand the success stories, understand that there's going to be failures, understand that there's a lot that's going to take place on this journey. And one thing I'm gonna guarantee you, no matter how good you are, like, sports will end. The ball will stop bouncing, and it will come a point where you have to, understand life after sports.
So, Gabe, why do you think this conversation is important, and how do you think it can be impactful in a positive way?
So, like I mentioned, it's addressing the inevitable problem, right? The inevitable problem is that sports will end. And I think L.A.S.T, which we talk about life after sports together, is creating a community of people that also either went through it or going through it, right? So if we address the problem and then now we come up with solutions together, so I think that once we leave sports, and I know we're gonna touch on this a little bit later on, once we leave sports, we feel alone. There is no more community, there's no more team. And I think we can't separate ourselves from what we've done our whole life, So I think once we get to a point where this conversation creates the problem, we can come together and create the solution. Yeah. For sure.
So, Gabe, when did basketball become more than just a game for you?
Another great question, Tori. I think it became more than a game when I realized I couldn't control it all, right? So it was a point to dive into who I am. I played at University of Houston, for those who don't know. I trained my whole life to get to the Division I basketball level. And in doing so, I realized I had control until I didn't. And I couldn't suck myself in. And every athlete knows this. It comes to a point where you're not the best player on the team anymore. You're not the star, you know. And so I had to come to a point where I had to say, okay, I'm still here. I'm a basketball player. I'm traveling all over the country. I have status. I have an identity. But I knew that it was a low possibility that I was going to go to the NBA, right? So I had to realize that. It was
Did you really think that, though?
100%. I did.
You did? Okay.
I think a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people, and I have to say this, are delusional.
Yeah,
right?
And I wanted to touch on that.
Yeah,
That's why I asked if you really did, because I don't feel enough people really have that. I mean, of course, we should be optimistic. We should 100%. Think that we should be able to accomplish everything, because we can.
Right.
But
come on now.
We have to be realistic, and I don't feel like everyone is completely realistic. There is some delusion out there.
100%, and that's the thing about sports that I think puts you at a disadvantage, because when you're in anything, you have to give it 110%, right? So if you're giving it 110%, you're not thinking about failing. Like, you can't think about, oh, I have set this goal, but in the back of my head, I know I'm not going to get it. So it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? And that's the problem. And that's why I think you have to address it, because even though you have to be 100% in, you have to know how to pivot. Like, I'm a big guy, I believe in pivoting. Like, you have to know when to transition and when to do something, when to stop doing something. I think if you look at some of the most successful people, everybody run comes to an end. But people who know how to have a run, use the run to pivot into something else, I think makes people successful. So for me, when I knew the game, to answer your question too, is I knew that being a basketball player gave me resources. So at that point, I wanted to use my resources to be able to leverage myself as more than just an athlete. And that's when I started to meet different individuals. Because in the back of my head, I'm like, all right, I ain't playing. Yeah. I'm sitting on the bench. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, something got to give.
Yeah, I got to start thinking.
Come on, I got to start thinking. And I think I want everybody, even my guys that are in college right now, to think. Just to think. It's not changing your mentality. You're still 100% in on your goal. But just understand that if you have to pivot, I'm ready. I'm building these relationships while I'm still playing at the collegiate level or whatever level you're at now. Yeah, that's what I would say to answer that question.
Yeah. So did you come to that realization of having to think, okay, how can I leverage the resources that I have because of basketball? Did that come towards the end of your career, or was that something that you always kind of had at the back of your mind?
I mean, so I'm the type of guy where, like, I played baseball first. So, like, I was a baseball guy at first. I really wasn't even a basketball guy until I was 16. Play? I was third base. Okay. I was catcher. Yeah. I was first base. I ain't gonna lie, I'm really an athlete for real. People don't know this because I'm a promoter now. And I'm gonna say this too, I just lost a lot of weight. Yeah. So people really didn't think I played sports. People just thought I was the dude drinking, smoking hookah in the club. So I feel like I played baseball. And so in the back of my head, I always knew how to, like I said, pivot. Like, I was like, okay, I never really looked at myself as like this super athlete. I just looked at somebody that enjoyed what came with being an athlete. You know, that was really my problem. Like, I enjoyed the benefits and the perks, like, of being an athlete. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get to leave class early in high school. You get the benefits of being a jock or a celebrity or in high school and stuff like that. And then, of course, when I got to college, I had scholarships. So I had free meals. We flying on private jets. We going to the hotel, city. That's what I enjoy. You know what I'm saying? So understanding that I could still accomplish that, though. Like, in the back of my head, I'm like, I can do this without playing sports, though. You know what I'm saying? I can still live a good life and be the things I like about it. I don't like working out. I don't like running sprints. I don't like everything that came with sports, for real. I'm not gonna lie.
Like the conditioning.
Yeah, I didn't like the conditioning. Nah. Anybody tell you I ain't like to run. I ain't like to lift weights or nothing. I was just like, where the game at? When the people in the crowd. That's why it hit me so different when it changed, because I was playing and then everything just was taken away from me. You know what I'm saying? It was a moment where it was just gone. So it was different. It was a transitioning for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the journey of an athlete, like you mentioned earlier, it can span from, you know, anywhere from 10 to 15 plus years of just training and dedicating themselves to that sport or to sports.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's more than one sport. But was there ever a time within that journey of yours where you realized that maybe basketball or baseball could be the vehicle that kind of gets me to where I want to be? Right. Not saying that everybody has a bad situation, as a child and in high school, but we all want more.
100%.
We see the lives that people live and things that they have. it's just natural to always want more. So when did it hit you that sports could be that vehicle to get you to more?
Right. And to say, like, I'm from Chicago, like I said, and in my city, you either a rapper, you either an athlete, or you a drug dealer. And that's just it. That just is what it is. Like,
Very limited.
Very limited. It's not too many people. And I'm not saying there's no doctors in Chicago. Let me make sure there's no lawyers or successful people, but those aren't the ones that's glorified, right? So you talk about the glorified professions that look successful, right? You have the cars, the house, the thing that we in our community look at as successful. Those people come from, like I said, either an entertainer, athlete, or a drug dealer. And I could never be a drug dealer because I can't go to jail. I can't sit still. I couldn't do it. So I never was the guy that wanted to be the street dude, even in a community full of street dudes. And I also knew I wasn't musically inclined. So I wasn't gonna be a rapper. So, and then I had nice size. I was pretty tall. So I was like, all right, we have to get out the hood being an athlete. And I think every athlete can attest to that. Like, the goal is to make it out the hood, to buy your mama a house, and to be able to say, I'm successful. Because we're not trained to say, okay, go to school to be a lawyer, or go to school for 15 to 20 years in high school and get a good GPA so you can get accepted to a good college, and then get into a good college so you can get a good doctorate program. We're not thinking like that. Like, we're thinking, okay, we're going to spend 15 to 20 years training. I'm going to get my kid a trainer at 5 for basketball or football, whatever it is, and we're going to run this route. But we're not realizing it's 1% chance that you're going to make it. That's less than a lotto. And I don't think we're taking the time to understand there's more avenues than just being an athlete. But for myself, of course, I thought that was it. You know, being an athlete was the way out. You know, it was no other way for me. So I spent 15 to 20 years. I went high school playing sports. I went college playing sports, and I lived in 4 or 5 different cities chasing the dream. Like, it was nothing else that I was thinking about but to become a professional athlete for, like, really up until recently, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? It took me a 20-year period before I transitioned and pivoted to anything else. For sure.
Everything is just basketball.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I knew. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. Like, in my community. And that's how you actually stay safe. Like, in my community, you know, as a hooper, you know, you was untouchable. Like, all right, he got a future. You know what I'm saying? Like, he making it out. That's the goal, right? So it's like, once you have that, you take that, and that means everything to a kid from the hood. You know what I'm saying? As a basketball player, and I made it out, but it's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I made it out, and it was my way out, but I had to come back, and that's when it became a whole 360. And we could touch into that later, though. But that's when it became real for me. Yeah.
And I know with you, I'm pretty sure you've probably always been tall. You're not average height. So I'm sure they've, you know, people, family, friends, they were always kind of forcing, or not forcing in a bad way, but putting, you know, a ball in your hands. Like,
sure.
like
100%.
I know when people would see you and they're like, I know you play basketball. I know you play sports.
Yeah, you forced to it. It's programmed. Yeah, for sure. I think that's part of the problem, for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not a problem, because sports taught me so much. You know what I'm saying? It taught me discipline. It taught me consistency. It gave me character. It gave me, you know, the things that I actually use in my life today, you know, that make me elite in the spaces that I'm in. Because if I didn't play sports, I wouldn't understand what hard work looked like. I wouldn't have the patience to know. Think about it. If I spent 15 to 20 years just to make it to the Division I level, I'm not tripping about nothing that's going on, for real. Like, in the world that I live in now, in the business, and when I deal with business endeavors, I don't wake up every day expecting it to happen that day.
Because you know it takes time.
It's a journey.
It takes work.
I learned that from sports. A lot of people never understood that. That's why you look at our generation, we're a get rich quick generation. Like, we want it tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? We want to make it happen today, you know? So I never had that mentality, because you can't go from high school or grammar school to the NBA. It just don't happen that way. You have steps, and you understand that once you go through sports. That's why I like telling my athletes, like, when I meet athletes, bro, like, we built for life after sports better than people who really never played sports.
Yeah.
Because we got it already. We just got to know how to use the tools. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest part, is how we going to use these tools to be better in life after sports, for sure. Yeah.
I think people always see what's glorified, you know, with the good that comes with being an athlete. The perks, you know, the attention, the everything. But what are some sacrifices that athletes make that, you know, people who aren't athletes wouldn't understand?
Sacrifices is really, you don't do the things that other kids are doing that's not playing sports, right? So, like we talked about, when you're on that path and that journey to be like this professional athlete, you're training every day, you're not doing the small things, right? And that's what I think athletes struggle with when they're done playing. Like, when you're not regular, I don't want to say regular, but when you're focused on the things like going to school every day and understanding life, you go through those trials and tribulations at an earlier age. So like the sacrifices I made was not having a real social life. If you meet athletes today, and I'm gonna tell you, a lot of athletes socially awkward. Like, and it's not because they weird, it's just because they didn't have the social interactions that normal people had. Right. So now you're not really knowing how to interact in the real world. Like everything isn't sports. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a huge sacrifice for a lot of people I come in contact with that's athletes. Is like, bro, you really don't know how to get thrown into an environment and know how to have a regular conversation.
Facts. If it doesn't involve like a ball or a court.
Like, and think about how insane that is. Like,
I mean, and I get it though, because when you think about it, like during that journey of building yourself up to be a D1 athlete, right. Like you mentioned, parents getting, you know, their children trainers at 5 years old, and it doesn't stop there. Like even if you're not playing like for your school, you know, AAU, you know, like
you missing the whole summer. Like I never, this is so crazy. In college, I never had a spring break. I never had a summer vacation where I really went and did like, you know, going to Disney World. Never did any of those things. And then I never had a Thanksgiving. Like, so when I'm in college, we're playing in Thanksgiving tournaments. So I'm never coming home for Thanksgiving. True. Christmas, I'm in Christmas tournaments. So I'm never coming home for Christmas. So like, these are sacrifices I'm making where I'm missing out on time with my family. You know what I'm saying? Where like, it's just stuff that you fully all in it. You're not even thinking about it. And I'm talking about year after year after year that I'm missing out on small things. You know, I look at that as the biggest sacrifice is that I didn't get those moments with my family to do Christmas, to do Thanksgiving. And that's just, I think every athlete can attest to that too, though.
Gabe, so after playing at UH, was there a moment where it hit you, even though you said like you weren't one of those delusional people that wasn't aware that, you know, the chances of you going pro was kind of low, but was there a chance like after playing at UH where you just really realized like, okay, like I got to figure it out now. Like I need to pivot. Like what's next? Life after sports is real. Like when was that moment for you?
It was, everybody has that moment. Like I talked about, it's inevitable. I don't care who you are. The moment will come when sports is over. So for me, it happened when it happened to the world. It wasn't just me. It was the pandemic. So mind you, let me give you a timeline real quick. I'm at University of Houston. I play a year. I don't really enjoy my time there. I learn a lot. I meet a lot of good people, but I just don't play, right? It's just not the right fit for me or whatever.
And what year is this?
This is 2018, 2019, I want to say. And so I transfer to University of Buffalo in New York. So I go to University of Buffalo in New York. I spend a year there having to sit out because at that time, it wasn't the same as it is now. I had the red shirt. So I had the red shirt. I sat up there for a year. Then I got to play. And throughout that year, it was cool. It wasn't bad, but it could have been better. Towards the end of the season, we're talking about 2020, right? The pandemic happened. So I'm a senior. I just went to 2 prep schools, junior college, Division I Houston. Now I'm in New York. Like that's a real journey. And now I'm getting to the end where it's like, this is the last shot for me. If I ever want to be a professional athlete, if I ever want to get to the NBA, I got to do it right now. It's the moment the end of the season happens, the world shuts down. So just imagine like, I had to realize for like 3 to 4 months, like the world never gonna be the same. Mind you, people don't care about what you individually go through, right? Just because you're in school doing X, Y, and Z and your mother passed away or something happens traumatic, like this shit still gotta happen. Like we still gotta the world's still gonna go on, you know? So I realized that. And that's the realest thing I tell any athlete is that you have to prepare for the worst. I wasn't prepared. Like I wasn't ready for the scholarships to be over. I wasn't ready to have to get an apartment. I wasn't ready to have to do anything. And for me, when the pandemic ended, the season ended. So I didn't get to end the season the way I wanted to. And it became real instantly. I had to move back home to Chicago. And think about that. We talked about it earlier. That was my way out. Sports was my way out. And then sports brought me back. I moved back into the same house I grew up in. Like mentally, that did something to me. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a full circle moment, but not a good one. Not a good
one. Like you don't want to come back. You think you make it out, right? I do all the work. I build it up, and I make it out. I'm in University of Houston. I'm the first one ever in my family to get a Division I scholarship.
Traveling the country,
I'm on private planes.
Yeah.
No, like I'm
on TV.
I'm top 5 hotels. Like this is serious. I'm doing it just to come back to the same community in the same house. Like not just the community. Like I moved back into my house. My bed is the same bed I slept in when I was 16. Like, so it's a real reality. Like,
Yeah, and I'm laughing,
real.
but it's not funny.
No,
like, it's
crazy.
funny, but it's not funny.
I can laugh now.
Because I can only imagine how that feels.
Oh, man, it was depressing. Like, it was super depressing coming back home to a house where you literally grew up as a kid with dreams of going home and getting to the point, right? And then you get there and you're like, damn, this shit ain't even what I thought it was going to be. It didn't go my way. I got to come back home and now I have to get a job. Like, I went from playing on TV thinking I'm going to NBA to now I'm working at Dick's Sporting Goods. I worked at Dick's Sporting Goods, like straight out of college to Dick's and back in my hood. You know what I'm saying? Back to, cleaning the gym for my trainer, which was a big help for me. But like, it was a real moment. Like, dang, okay, life after sports is real, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm really lost. Mentally, it was a lot of depression for real.
And I'm sure you were kind of questioning everything. Like, was it even worth it?
Yeah,
just to end up
100%.
Right back here.
100%. But for me, I always look at things optimistically, right? So I knew I wasn't gonna stay in Chicago. It was just it was a pivoting point where I was like, all right, I gotta come home because I don't got nowhere else to go. Like, I can't stay at school because I'm not in school no more. Right. School's over, and it's a pandemic, so I gotta go back to where I have a home. For some people, they don't even have a home. Think about it. Some people might graduate and they don't got nowhere to go. Like, at least I had a crib in Chicago that I grew up in that we still own. So I got to go there and just sit tight. And I tell people, sit down, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? It's not as bad as you think it is because at the end of the day, every day you wake up, you got a chance to do something. And that was my biggest thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never want to quit. I always had that mentality where like, we going to figure it out for sure.
Facts. Yeah. And I mean, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
On you.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out, okay, like, what's next for me?
Right.
Like, what do I do next? Where do I go next? And then on top of that, like, what would that even look like with the world, in a state, in a place that we've never seen? Yeah. With the a global pandemic.
It was nuts.
So we were already questioning everything. Like, what is the next 6 months going to look like? The next year?
Am I going to be alive?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So trying to juggle that, like, how was that on your mental?
I'm glad you asked that. And I think that is the pillar of what I want L.A.S.T to be, right? I want this to be a community of people who can lean on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have anybody to lean on. And that drained me more than anything because I had to go through it by myself. The depression that took place during that period of my life, I wouldn't want that on my worst enemy. Cause like I said, when you make it to those levels of being a Division I basketball player and you accomplish certain accomplishments, the worst thing that can happen is you got to go back to square one. Like, think about how hard it is to climb to the top tower and then you fall. One move and you back down there. Like, a lot of people might not ever want to climb again. Like, that's depression. People don't realize depression is something that stops you from wanting to do anything positive. And that's caused by traumatic situations. And that was traumatic for me. But the crazy part about this conversation is people don't think a sports or athlete should have these level of depression because it's like, oh, it's just a sport. Oh, you was just playing basketball. You still got a college scholarship. Yeah. Oh, you good. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what you wanted to do. No, I didn't accomplish it. I failed. And it's something that I did for 20 years. Let me tell you do something for 20 years and take it away from you and tell you it's over. Let me see how that's going. How you gonna feel?
Someone with a job, like they've been working the same job for 20, 25 years, and they think they're supposed to get a pension afterwards.
I don't get nothing. You know what I got? Nothing. I didn't get.
That's
nothing.
Heartbreaking.
I'm not gonna say I got nothing. I do not want to sound. I got a lot of experiences, and I got a college scholarship. Like, I got a degree, right? But I didn't know what to do with my degree. I wasn't thinking about using a degree. I was thinking about playing. When I signed up for college, I wasn't thinking about, I'm going to go get a sociology major.
Yeah, all the different resources college and basketball is going to afford me. You thinking about the money, the contracts.
Come on. I'm not trying to be a social worker. That's what my degree is in, sociology.
Really?
So I'm supposed to be a social worker. Not saying nothing wrong with a social worker, but I'm saying, like, I'm thinking I'm finna be in the NBA.
Yeah.
Reality check. You think about depression. That's what depression is. When you don't get to accomplish the goals you want to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? So it was something I think you need people to lean on and people to help you understand that it's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? You're just going through some stuff right now.
And I think just having people who understand, like, even if they can't completely resonate because they weren't an athlete, but just understand, like, this has been my life.
Whole life.
And now it's over.
Yeah.
And I know that can lead people to feeling lost because they don't feel like there's anybody who can that's even trying to understand.
There's no place for it. There's nowhere to go at that time for me, and I think a lot of people can resonate, where you can go feel like motivated. You know what I'm saying? You literally don't have no motivation. I didn't want to get up. Like, I didn't want to do certain things some days. Like, I was in a real low place because I'm like, how do I ever get the energy to try again, not even get close to being successful, that knows it takes years. Like I knew it took years just to get there. So I know anything else I do, if I want to be a doctor, lawyer, if I want to do whatever, first off, what am I about to do?
Right.
Yeah, like even the conceptual part of that, like where do I even start? Like how do I even begin to think, what do I want to do now? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole thing. Like it ain't easy for sure.
And then I think it forces you to kind of like look at yourself too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what do I want to do now? What can I do now?
Yeah. So I got lucky. Honestly, I tell people all the time, like me, my story is I throw events for, basketball players and I'm a promoter in Houston. And I got lucky because I was always the guy that wanted to make sure everybody around them was good. Like I was the kid that had a car in college and nobody else did. So I'm taking everybody to get food after practice. I'm the one you need to go to Walmart, get some stuff for the crib. Like I always had a knack to want to take care of people. So when I graduated, it was easy for me to say, okay, I got homies that play in the league that I play with. You know what I'm saying? They come to Houston. All right, cool. Let me facilitate this. It wasn't even for a job. Like I ain't even do it to like thinking that being a promoter could make. You know what I'm saying?
You're just doing it because I can do it. Like,
these
I
my
know
homies.
X, Y, and Z.
Like these my partners. Like I really want to make sure when they come to the city, like I got them. You know what I'm saying? So I got lucky. A lot of people, it's been years trying to figure out what they gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, but I mean, you just mentioned that the first time you did it, it wasn't like money wasn't like a driving factor. It wasn't like, oh, this finna be my job.
Nah,
so
at all.
How did that become a job? Like, how did that? When did it click to you? Like, okay, maybe this was what I could do.
Yeah, I think first thing first, do what you love, right? It's like I did it for free. Like people don't notice. Like when I moved to Houston, to fast forward to like the pandemic from Chicago, because we just talked about going back home. Now I moved to Houston because I felt like I had enough resources here than anywhere else. Chicago, I just didn't have any resources. People around me weren't doing nothing. And I didn't want to go back to New York. So I'm like, okay, I spent the year in Houston. I met some really dope people like Junior Martin, who owns Camp. I met some people where it was just, I wanted to be around different energy. And I tell people, when you're going through this transition in sports, your circle and who you surround yourself is probably the most important thing to get out of that.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So moving to Houston, was able to, be around Junior Martin and learn. I did it for free. Like I said, I was an internship with Junior for like a year and didn't make no bread. Like just understanding what it was like to be a promoter, understanding the entertainment space, understanding what nightlife really was from a business aspect. A lot of people see nightlife in Houston and it just looks fun. It just looks like chaos, but it's really organized. Like it's really a business. Like it's a lot of people in nightlife in Houston that's making millions of dollars. So I got to learn that, but I wasn't tripping because I was doing it for free. Like I loved it. I made sure everybody that came through those doors when I was working at Camp in my early years, give them experience. Like go above and beyond to make sure when they come here, they're having a great time. That was my whole thing. And it just turned into me being the person people start to call when they came here.
The vibe specialist.
The vibe specialist, like whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I got lucky, because that's not a profession. But I tell people the work and the understanding that it's not going to happen overnight, that's where it came from. You know what I'm saying? I knew that everything's a journey. I wasn't expecting to be in the NBA in 1 year. I didn't expect to make millions in 1 year. I didn't expect to make thousands. It's still a journey. But that's me being an athlete. That's what I learned being going through what I went through. You know what I'm saying?
And just to kind of piggyback off of that, like, I think many athletes, like sports comes easy to them. Of course, they perfect and they perfect their skill and they get better. But I think athletes are so used to things coming easy.
Right.
So when they have to transition and try something new, they can easily become discouraged. But it's like, it's not that it's hard. It's just new for you.
It's new. It's brand new. But like I said earlier, I can't, and I want to make sure that y'all understand this, like sports will come to an end. Like there is no way you can expect to be an athlete from any phase of being an athlete and thinking that you're going to play this sport forever. Prepare yourself for that moment that the game ends. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's doing the self-work. What do I like to do? Like, what do I want to do in my spare time?
Yeah, like what brings me like peace and happiness.
It ain't got to be a job. Like, you're going to have to do what you got to do in the initial part of it when you first start playing. Because I worked at Dick's Sporting Goods. I worked in corporate America for like 6 months, couldn't do it.
Doing what?
Yeah, I was in Warner Media. I had a really good job for real. Like, I ain't gonna lie, before I moved to Houston, it was my last chance at life for real.
Gabe, corporate America, Gabe?
I was in corporate, I ain't gonna lie.
What?
I had
Benefits
shirt
and all?
tie for sure. You know what I'm saying? And I thought it was cool, because I'm like, I'm working for Warner Media, which is a major media company, right? But it's still pandemic kind of, so we hybrid. Like, we in the office a little bit, but we at the crib. I'm like, nah, this ain't it. Like, I need a little bit more drive every day, get up, let me bounce I'm still young. I want to pop it a little bit. I want to be, I ain't here yet. I ain't got to the point where I want to sit
in that moment, that's what you needed. It was doing what it needed to do.
100% paid the bills.
And I think people have to keep that in mind too. So sometimes
gotta do what you gotta do.
You do.
Please, we got to speak on that. We got to speak on that.
You got to put your pride to the side.
Got to.
You have to.
You got to.
You have to.
Because that's the biggest thing for athletes. We got ego. Because we really like, we on TV. People tell us our whole life.
Dude, like,
you great.
Yeah, you the best.
You the best.
You
all right, so how I feel to work at Dick's and put on a jersey, put on a green shirt that say Dick's Sporting Goods.
And then not the dude who was supposed to sign a $2 million contract.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
That's what I want people to know.
Okay.
It's okay to be like regular. Can we make that cool again?
Yeah,
like just
regular. Regular. People hear regular and they think that's bad.
No, they do. They do. And that,
what's
for an athlete for sure. Because you just went, your homie in the NBA making $40 million. The world is really messed up. When you can wake up and see somebody make $100 million and you can see somebody over here that's homeless, like the disparity in it is like, you'll really start looking at life like, damn, like, I don't even look at the homeless person. I look at myself. I'm like there's somebody over here living this way and I'm and you got to be okay with whatever that is for you though. Like if you in the middle, like if you only making 100,000 or 10,000, be okay with that. Because the best thing I love about the life that we live in America and the choices that we get, what you are today don't mean that's what you're going to be tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like you can always grow. Like it's something that you can do. Somebody could be homeless today. And if you just got effort and you just want to try it, you can become something. Like it's never over until it's really over.
You don't have, ain't nothing wrong with being regular. But if you don't want to be regular, then what makes you not regular?
Yeah, do something. Try. Do something. But for sure. I want to do something too with you is like from a woman's perspective. What do you think for an athlete that's having a transition? What do you think is probably one of the most important things that that you think that athletes need to prepare themselves with?
Something for athletes to prepare themselves for life after sports.
Yeah.
I think it would just honestly, understanding that there's more, they're more than just that sport. Mm-hmm. Like you're a person too.
Yeah, for sure.
I think a lot of people, that's all they do. Like their free time.
That's it.
Even like when they're not playing sports, y'all like to watch sports. Yeah, like your life is sports. It's consumed by sports.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, like not having, certain holidays where you can go home. Even in the summer, like y'all didn't really get a summer. Y'all are still, and then they force y'all to go to summer school too. Like
for real.
Y'all have like a structured schedule every day. Like your meals are scheduled. Like when you're supposed to study and do homework.
Right.
I think the biggest thing is just knowing that you're still Gabe outside of basketball. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you probably, you know that now. Yeah. But it took some time for you to figure out who Gabe really was outside of basketball.
Yeah. No, for sure it did. It definitely did. And I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. And
it's like, do y'all even have hobbies outside of y'all sport most times?
You know what's crazy? That's really my problem in life.
I think that's a lot of people's problem. They don't have
like to do nothing, bro.
Genuine hobbies that they just do like.
Yeah, I don't like to do nothing. Yeah,
I ain't really looking to get anything out of this but a good time.
We don't have hobbies because, like you said, this is 12 months a year around. Like when you playing travel ball, you do all this, like you're not even understanding what you like to do. You might play video games. That's just a little hobby, but like.
You get to do that here and there, but it doesn't stop. It's around the clock.
All year long.
Like, even with being, a female and playing sports growing up, I started off in competitive cheer. Mm-hmm. So with competitive cheer, especially during that time for me, I would have practices 4 times out of the week. At minimum.
Yeah.
And then don't let us have like a big competition coming up. Yeah. Saturday practice.
Yeah.
And it's all day. And then the next weekend we have a competition that's Friday through Sunday. Yeah. And it's out of town. Like that was my life. If I didn't have cheer practice and I had tumbling practice for cheer. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's why I wanted to ask you from a girl perspective, because they think girls don't, ain't the same competitive. And it happens for y'all too, though.
And or just sometimes having parents that, I had parents that made sure I was introduced to almost every sport. Mm-hmm. Like I can remember getting picked up from softball practice in high school as a freshman, my dad or my mom picking me up, and then we're hustling to my next practice because I play club volleyball.
That's crazy.
And I'm gonna be there until 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, that's life.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do that with my kids.
Okay, when did the idea for L.A.S.T like hit you? Was it something that you built towards? Like you had a thought, you just kind of like pondered on it, sat with it, or was it something that came to you quickly?
So for me, like I said, during the pandemic, I had a lot of time to think and sit with myself. The phone stopped ringing. I wasn't that guy no more. So I had to figure out like, okay, everything I did to get to where I am now, I learned something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to be able to provide that information without people having to go through it. Like I said, once I moved to Houston from Chicago, I was homeless. You know what I'm saying? I lived in a storage unit for my first couple of years while I was promoting. People didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying? Like I really understood. And that was, for me, honestly, I wasn't even sad. Like some people might hear that like homeless.
Yeah.
Like I was knowing like, cause I knew every day I got up, I was doing something I love to do. Like I knew like in a couple years, I'm gonna be that dude. Like I'm gonna be one of the best promoters in the game. Like I know that because I cared about it. I worked hard for it and I wasn't rushing the process. Like I knew I was solid. So like for me, I want to just help people understand the journey and understand like life after sports together. It's just not life after sports. Like, so I had to come up with this acronym. I'm like, LAST, like life after sports together. No, that sounds good. Like that's something that I know I lived. Like I went through that. Like I had to figure that out. Life after sports. Okay, cool. But damn, what if I could have did it with a community of people? And what if I would have had mentors? What if I had more information? What if I had more education? What if I had more motivation? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff. I'm like, oh, we got to put this together. Like we got to figure this out. And it's been like a year or two. I've been sitting on this for a minute. Like I've been really like pondering how I was going to create this. And of course we're going to start with the podcast and just get more information throughout the year. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I know you mentioned that, you know, you speaking about the time that you were homeless and living in a storage unit, like you don't look back, like you weren't sad at that time. You don't look back at it. Like, I think you have to have like some real strong mental to be able to say that, especially while going through it. The fact that you were able to keep in the back of your mind, like, this is going to be greater later.
Right.
I don't think a lot of people can do that.
I think every athlete can. I think if you understand the process of, like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. Like we built, like one of the biggest things I had to learn from being an athlete is put yourself through the hardest things you possibly can. Train as hard as you can. So when it happens to you, it doesn't feel abnormal, right? And that was the whole thing for me. I wanted to feel that. Like I wanted to feel desperation. I wanted to feel homelessness. I wanted to feel that feeling because I knew if I was to overcome that, it's nothing can stop me after that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have fear. Like once you accomplish the fear of accomplishing things that are supposed to scare you, like homelessness, the concept is supposed to scare you. You know what I'm saying? Not having nowhere to live is supposed to scare you. Sleeping in your car is supposed to scare you. It's supposed to provide you some type of like caution. Nah, but when you embrace it, right? And you say, I'm with that, let's do that, let's go there. It makes everything easier. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be okay with being uncomfortable. I learned that at Houston. That was my biggest problem why I feel like I wasn't successful at Houston because I was bracing. I was like, when the coach say do this, I knew it was hard. So I'm like, but if I would have prepared for it and did it prior to being in that situation and did it earlier, when he told me, I would have been like, man, that's easy. I did that. I done did worse. You know what I'm saying? I done been through worse. You know, sometimes you don't have to let life happen, make life happen, even in a bad way. Like,
for sure.
I made myself go through that. I could have stayed in Chicago. Like I said, I had a corporate job. I left a corporate job that was on paper $99,000 a year to go be homeless because I knew I had more out there.
Yeah, you were chasing something.
100%. I had to. Big Bronco outside. No cap.
No facts. New color.
Yeah, every 6 months. So yeah.
Every 6 months,
yeah,
new color.
New color for sure. Overly.
Okay.
Overly. We're going red next.
I love it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But I also want to address why this is so important, right? Why this conversation needs to happen, right? For those who are athletes and those who are struggling with the change and knowing that transition is about to happen, we here at L.A.S.T is going to provide just information on not just the struggle part of it, because we're talking about that, but also the other side. I'm gonna bring a lot of people up here who financial literacy, right? Who understand credit. Because like, think about it. A lot of athletes and myself, I didn't understand how to even get an apartment. Like I didn't understand how to get renter's history. I didn't even know that was a thing. So like and this is what I think a lot of people don't know. And I'm gonna get game on this too. As an athlete, you have a scholarship. So you're staying in dorms and you're an adult. So once you turn an adult 18, these are certain things that most average adults do. They get an apartment at 18, and it's certain apartment levels. Like you're not getting a $3,000-$4,000 crib. You're getting $1,000 crib, $2,000 crib, right? So for an athlete, we live lavish though. So once we're done playing, we expect to probably live in something nice. But you have no renter history. So I probably wanted a nice crib, but every time I would apply for it, they looking at, okay, he's never shown that he can actually pay rent.
Yeah.
That's renter history, just like credit history, right? So I didn't have that. So I would have to go through so much of just getting denied. I'm filling out applications, and filling out applications, you got to pay. So you got to pay to do this. So I'm
application fees.
Application fees and all that. So that right there was another wall. I didn't even know it was coming. Boom, I hit that. I'm like, okay, I can't even get a crib. It wasn't that I wanted to be homeless. Like I just couldn't get a crib. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't apply. And when I applied, they rejected me because I didn't have history. So understanding that's what we're going to give game on. Resume. I never had a resume. I never filled out a LinkedIn. So these are the things that I want to educate a lot of my athletes on. And this is stuff you can do while you're still chasing the dream. Like you don't have to stop chasing the dream to have a resume. You don't have to stop chasing the dream to understand, hey, coach, I know I got an apartment, but I want to put my information online that I'm paying this rent. Even though the school paying it, I want you to be able to say, Gabe is building his credit and his renter history while I'm in college. That's something that we're not even thinking. So now when I graduate, I got 4 years of paying rent at a high level. You know what I'm saying? Now, who gonna tell me no? Like, they like, okay, he been doing this, he good, let him get a crib. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with credit. I never needed credit. I was getting transported all around the country.
Everything is structured for y'all.
Yeah,
like y'all
everything. And it's a disadvantage. Like, you know what I'm saying? So this is why I think the conversation, I have to say this, is so important, because these little things, like we're not good at the little things. Like, like I said, the discipline, the consistency, the hard work, those are the pillars of every athlete. But the things that we weren't trained and privy to is how to do the small things and be successful in life doing the small things. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation and start L.A.S.T for sure,
I think a lot of people can also take from L.A.S.T, like how to leverage the resources that they already have, 100%. How to identify those resources, Yeah, like, understanding how that relationship can help you or benefit you, after this, later.
The biggest point you could make is you're an athlete, so you are somebody, right? And if you get to the Division I level, you're a high level athlete. You're on TV, right? So, and you have alumni base. This is something I wish I would have took advantage of, is the alumni base at these schools. And I want to speak to some of these colleges too, because I think there needs to be a program created to help the alumni touch the athlete, right? And offer them job fairs. A lot of these alumni are millionaires. Like if you look at NIL right now, the alumni is the one who's giving the money to these kids. Like they're the one funding these schools. And how do you think they making money? These dudes have all type of jobs. Like I went back to University of Houston, and this dude made cranes. Like he makes cranes. Think about that. Like
facts.
You don't think he would want to hire the kid he been paying for the last 3-4 years to go to school? You know what I'm saying? He donate all his money. He would love to give you a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this job make probably 6-7 figures.
Facts.
You feel what I'm saying? So I think that's another thing. Like, talk when you at these schools, and it's another game I'm gonna give y'all. If you're a college athlete right now, and you at the university, do not be scared to talk to them alumni. Them people that's sitting around that court or sitting in them stands, go meet them. You know what I'm saying? They fans of you. These people probably never played sports. So when they get to live through you, this is the closest they gonna get to like championships and winning. So don't just look at them as fans. Look at those as resources. Like those people can help you. And they, like if it don't work in sports, you can always go back and they remember them moments. You brought moments to their family. They've been alma mater for years. They love this school. Like if they can offer help to you, I'm telling you right away, they will really change your life. And that's something you just need to build while you're there. Because you can't go back and try to build it because they probably don't remember you. Build a relationship, get their number. You know what I'm saying? Like communicate with them, wish them happy birthday, wish them Merry Christmas. Little stuff like that will keep you in their life. So when you do need something later on, you're gonna be like, oh, I remember him, he's a good kid. Oh yeah, let me get him a job. Let me help him out. That transition until you want to do what you want to do. I'm just gonna give y'all that game real quick.
I love that you said that because you kind of see it all the time. Like with some athletes, there's like a little kid who's like their biggest fan, and their parents probably went to that school, so they go to all the games and they make sure that they get a picture with that player.
And all they know is your last name.
Facts. I know almost every athlete has a little child, has a little kid like that just loves them.
Love you. I made that a point of emphasis when I was in school. Like I really went out there and I met people. Like the reason I met Junior Martin is because I was at University of Houston and I ain't had no money to pay to get in the club. So when I was at Houston, I'm like, hey, bro, I play for University of Houston. I got the whole team. We trying to go out.
Leveraging resources.
And it was a man. It was. I can't forget about Woody and I can't forget about Jacob because those are the two that first initially let me meet Junior. So I can't forget about them. They was like, "Oh, you play for Houston?" And they let me come to the club. And I sit on the side of the section. Like it's people right now that I see that shake my hand, have no clue I've been around since 2018. Like I swear. And I was just the fly on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like now they be like, special shit. And I'd be like, nah, I was like just sitting there just observing, you know. But I appreciate Jacob and them because I ain't had no money to go to the club. We wasn't buying bottles. What these kids is doing now is crazy. We was not spending them. I ain't have 40 to get in the club. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't have 40 in the club.
But out at the club though.
But I had out at the club. It's a lot of them.
No, but that's the perfect
example. A lot of y'all
example.
too. It's a lot of niggas out here with no money in the club.
Time. But that's the perfect example of leveraging your resources.
Leveraging your resources for sure. You got to do it.
Yeah, but I think you did it in that moment, and a lot of people do it that way.
Yeah.
But there's another way that you can leverage those resources too.
Don't be scared.
Not just to get in the club.
Yeah.
Not just for a night out. Yeah.
That's why I say like reach out to the alumni, understand what these people do. Because it's a lot of money in these universities. And if you at that level, just don't be too cool. Like I think that's what it is. Like, and don't be scared to like just have a conversation. That don't mean you're not going to the NBA, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, even if you go to the NBA, these people have businesses that you can come back and invest on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can be a part of their companies. Like, the game will stop. Like, it's inevitable. I will say that all day, every day.
It will stop.
It will stop for everybody. Even the NBA players. It's going to stop. For sure.
It's 2026. The L.A.S.T Podcast is finally established.
It's here.
So where do you see L.A.S.T in 5 years?
Personally, I want it to be a brand. I want it to be a community, right? So it's phases of it. Of course, the first phase is awareness, right? We're bringing awareness to the problem. And then the second part is probably the solution, right? And that's coming together and talking and walking through it. So, you know, in the next 5 years, I would hope for us to be integrated in a lot of universities where we're adding programs and curriculums to help kids transition after sports. A lot of mentorship programs where we can, you know, help people transition. Also, you know, a bunch of success stories, like a bunch of people who come through our community who didn't have a family, now you do, you know what I'm saying? So in 5 years, I hope we have thousands of people that, you know, come here and are participating in our job fairs and we having panels and we just touching so many different lives. Like that's my goal. Like honestly, what L.A.S.T is just to be able to touch people and help people and change lives.
What conversations do you think L.A.S.T will, you know, in addition to life after sports, what other conversations do you think this podcast will create?
I think the biggest one for me as far as creating a conversation is that you're not alone, right? And that lonely, lost place, it exists and it's nothing wrong with it. Embrace it, right? We talked about that journey and understanding the hard things, put yourself through it, go through it with a smile on your face. And that's something I think is either going to make or break you. Like either you're going to be built for it or you're not. Like I know a lot of people who choose the easy way out, you know, and then you got people who want to go and still reach for the skies. I think that's the biggest part of this conversation is we're going to hear a lot of stories. I'm going to bring a lot of people on here who going to tell you they had to endure something or get over something. And just because you didn't make it to the league or you didn't make it to professional or you didn't make it to the Division I level, your life not over. You got so many tools from you being an athlete that you can use in the rest of life. And I think that's the conversation we're going to have each and every week. You know what I'm saying? For sure. So I know you got some rapid fire questions for me, right?
I do.
Let's go ahead and get that out the way. And I'm hoping y'all enjoying this. Like I said, we are going to have more guests on the show. We're going to have financial literacy people. We're going to have psychologists. We're going to have athletes, entrepreneurs. This will be a space for people to learn. So when you check out the pod and you check out the content, we are here to give you the information, education, and the motivation to keep going. And that's what L.A.S.T about. But yeah, I had to say that too.
Okay, so rapid fire questions.
What you got?
Gabe, your favorite basketball memory?
My favorite basketball memory quickly would be I was on national TV on ESPN and I didn't really play all year. This is when I'm in New York. I'm playing towards the end of the game. My uncle at the game too. He from Kansas City, but we ain't playing in Akron, Ohio. I don't even know why he in Akron, Ohio at the time, but he coming there. This is like my real like favorite uncle type stuff. So 10 seconds on the clock. Real moment. Like this is every kid dream. Like 10 seconds on the clock. They swing the ball, pass me the ball. I had a crazy buzzer beater on ESPN. Crazy.
What?
Yeah, it was OD. It was OD. And that was Yeah, Sports Center. It made Sports Center. I ain't gonna lie. I want to pull the clip up because I know y'all gonna think I'm lying. I made a game-winning three.
Capping.
I do not be capping, bro. I just don't be popping
You
it.
can't lie on the internet and then say it's on. We gonna look for it. Y'all pull it up.
For sure. That was one of my moments. I gotta say this as another moment because I gotta say this. My brother was incarcerated my whole life, and he got out, and I was playing in Chicago. Mind you, I'm in New York. I'm playing in Chicago, and it's my first time ever meeting my brother because I never met him in person, right? So I got to meet him at my game, and he came to my game. So I'm just... And
it was that game?
It was that game.
What?
Yeah,
you showed out.
Yeah, it was OD. And that probably was one of the greatest moments I ever had because he was there, you know what I'm saying? That was one of the first times, damn near last times too, unfortunately, that I got to see him. It was dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go. One of my favorite basketball memories. Honestly, I have like a short... I didn't play after like 8th grade. I was done with basketball.
Okay, just get your best sports moment. What was your best sports moment?
My best sports moment? It's been a minute. I'm just thinking. Like something specific where I'm just like...
Or you just was like, even if it was an accomplishment, something you accomplished. Yeah, you gotta have a moment. Everybody has a moment.
Everybody has a moment.
8th graders had a moment.
Yeah. Ooh, 8th grade. Home game. And I shot and made a corner 3.
Oh, you wasn't a shooter. So this was a big deal.
I was a shooter. No, I wasn't.
That was a big deal?
I mean, because the game was close. It was tight.
It was a big game.
Yeah. It was a close game. It was a tight game.
8th grade, that mattered.
Yeah.
That mattered, for sure.
It was a tight game. I was a shooter. I was a shooting guard.
For real?
Yeah, but a corner 3 when it's tight and it's clutch like that. Yeah. It just gives everybody like a little rush.
Nah,
You're
for
like,
sure. I can see that. I ain't gonna lie. Anything you do at that young of age is amplified. You know what I'm saying? For sure. I feel that.
Okay, so hardest lesson learned from sports.
That you cannot control everything. I think that was one of my things is like, no matter how hard you work, you can bust your ass. But it's like, it come a point where like, it just might not work. You know what I'm saying? You might not get in the game. You know, this might not be a good fit for you. I think for me, University of Houston was that, it was a huge lesson for me to know that like, I can't control everything, but also the lesson was to put yourself through the hardest things you possibly can so that when you do eventually go through anything hard, it's not hard. Just push yourself as much as you can. I think Houston taught me that. University of Houston definitely taught me that. Yeah,
I think it's a perspective thing. When you approach it a certain way, the outcome will definitely be impacted. So one thing you tell your younger self.
One thing I tell my younger self, never give up. Never give up. You know what I'm saying? I always had moments of like wanting to quit, but I just always tell myself like at any moment it could be your day. Like at any moment, if you keep going and you try, I feel like I'm a big believer in like we ain't quitting until like it's 2 nails in a coffin, So
and I know that sounds so simple sometimes to people. It's definitely easier said than done, but you really just gotta keep going.
We gotta keep going.
Like you have to. There's it's either that or fold.
Yeah, can't do that.
Yeah,
can't do that.
Which hard do you want?
Yeah, you gotta pick it for sure.
So, okay, your dream podcast guest, if you could have anybody on L.A.S.T, dead or alive, who would that person be?
I ain't even finna do that to myself because I want everybody. I want every athlete because I want to tell everybody's story. Like I want every athlete that I can touch and see. I want to be able to tell everybody's story because I think everybody's story unique. So I want to, and I know somebody gonna resonate with his and somebody gonna resonate with hers and somebody, I want to just get as many athletes I can up here that's successful, that did it, that figured it out and get their story for sure. That's my favorite thing about this whole podcast. I want to talk to everybody. Yeah, for sure.
So if there's an athlete watching this right now, trying to figure out life after sports, trying to figure out how to pivot, they may be feeling lost, they may be feeling unseen, unheard. Like, what would you say to them?
I would say what I told myself every day. Like, find what you love, do what you love, and continue to keep going. I think there's no blueprint, but we're going to create one, right? And that's why I think L.A.S.T is here. I think we're going to help you. I want you to join the movement. Ask questions, follow the page. I want you to just, anything that you're going through right now, you have a place now to, refer a friend. If you know somebody going through something and they're transitioning, refer them to L.A.S.T so we can touch them. Like my biggest thing, and I don't think that I'm too big to touch anybody. I want to be able to give my advice to every individual person. So if you are going through something and you are transitioning and you just need some advice on something and you just want to know how to pivot and where to go and what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, reach out to the page, DM me, message me. I want to touch y'all individually and then we're going to talk about it. So when you message me on the episodes, I'm going to address it live so you can be able to learn from whatever you're going through and we can keep going, keep being great. Yeah. I think we had a good episode, Tori.
I think so too.
I'm excited for this space. This is the first one. Anything else you want to, before we go? I know we got to go. We've been here for a minute. Anything else you want to say before we check out?
I'm really happy that this vision came to you.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that you listened to it. You were disciplined enough to spend time with it, to sit with it, and really just build, you know?
Yeah.
And this is only the beginning. I think this is gonna not take us far. And when I say us, I mean like the L.A.S.T community.
Yeah, the whole community.
Like you said, we're building a community. And we want people to know that they're not alone.
Yep.
There's other people going through the same thing. And there's people who made it through it too.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing, that there's so many people who made it through it. And I hope that this is, I hope that this helps you make it through it. Because you can get through it. You just got to keep going.
100%. We signing out. I'm Gabe. This is the
Tori.
L.A.S.T Podcast.
The L.A.S.T
I need y'all to like, share, subscribe on YouTube, follow the Instagram page, follow the TikTok, stay engaged. We're building a community. I look forward to where this is gonna go, man. Hey, we out. L.A.S.T.